What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of StoneBlock. Oh yeah, guys. So I just updated to the next newest version. I think this is 31. So yeah, there might be some things that are different, or I don't know. It seems like a lot of the different version numbers that they've been doing for this is just minor configuration tweaks, like changing EMC, adding EMC, removing EMC from different items. So I think we should be okay. It just seems like I should be on the newest one. So yeah, we upgraded. So last episode, we were trying to finish upgrading our armor, our Draconic stuff to the next level. And I just got done doing the RF on all of these guys. Like our armor, the armor is completely upgraded to Draconic. The Draconic bow, I did the RF capacity, and I did the same thing with the Draconic staff of power just because we were going. But with all these other upgrades and how slow this thing goes, it's just kind of like, I don't really want to have to do each one of these. So just as a reminder, let's get rid of the RF capacity thing, and we'll put in like the draw speed. So you guys can see how slow this is going. So we'll put the bow right here. And we're charging up, and it's charging up super slow. And the reason why is because we are limited with our power supply that is in the mining dimension. Yeah. So let's take this thing out. Actually, I'll put that back in. I'll just take the bow out. So yeah, pretty much what we need to do is look at getting power and getting power faster. Currently, our power is being supplied by, I think, 6 vibrant capacitors. Actually, it might be more than 6. It's probably like 10. How many you got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 vibrant capacitors. But they're all formed into one multi-block, and they're limited to 275,000 micro-I per tick. Same thing, RF, FE, all the same thing. Anyway, so we're limited to this. That's the maximum amount of power that we can output. That's not good. We need more power than that for sure. So what I'd like to do is, another thing is these solar panels, these things can generate 32,000, almost 33,000 FE per tick per solar panel. And we have all of these, all of those, and then another row on this side. So we're wasting energy. We can't even push the amount of energy this capacitor bank can receive. I mean, we can push way more than it can receive. That's what I meant to say. So we need to figure out a way to get all the power out of our solar panels, store it somewhere, and then be able to send all of that power when we need it in large quantities. So I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to look at the Draconic Evolution crazy Powerball storage thing. So let's go back here. No, that's the wrong thing. What do we do it? Mods. Okay, so when you open up the tablet for the first time, this is the Draconic Evolution information tablet. When you open this thing up for the first time, you have to click on the mod for Draconic Evolution. I guess this tablet is used for multiple mods, or could be used for multiple mods. And then you get this handy section over here where you can check out all the different items that you might want to know about. The one we are interested in, though, if we scroll down, maybe we scroll down too far. Man, I was just looking at this. It's right here. Energy Storage Corp. So if we click on this, it tells you about the crazy Powerball. You can see each of the different tiers, how much it holds. But what we're kind of interested in is the setup, because the setup tells you how many different blocks and items you need per tier. So a tier 2 requires 6 Draconium blocks, 4 energy core stabilizers, and 1 energy core. Let's go back up 1. How do we go back? Energy core setup, stabilizer. How do we get to the previous? I'm not sure. Let's go back here and then click on this. So the tier 2 holds 2.73 million RF. This thing right here, how much is this holding? This is holding 275 million. So the tier 2 was what? Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing again. I wish I could click back on this. There's got to be a way to do it. I guess if you click right there, maybe? Yeah, so it's about the same on a tier 2, and that's like very minimal setup. So if we go to a tier 3, it can hold 1.64 billion, 9, almost 10 billion on the tier 4, 60 billion on the tier 5, all the way up to tier 8. Tier 8 holds like essentially infinite. You're never going to fill this thing up. But the problem is with the tier 8, Like, it's kind of a waste of resources, so you're never going to be able to fill it up, and you're going to have to spend nearly 400 Awakened Draconium blocks, 800 Draconium blocks. Yeah, I think we're going to go for the tier 7. I think that's going to be a little bit more realistic. 378 Awakened Draconium blocks is a thing that, you know, if we had all the resources, I would just do it. But we don't really have that much Awakened Draconium. And the Awakened Draconium is, yeah, we're only able to get that right now from our Awakened Draconium chicken. And this thing makes 3 nuggets in this amount of time. And it takes, what is it, 81 nuggets to make 1 block? So, yeah. So let's take a look at our Awakened Draconium. We currently have 130 blocks of the stuff. So I could sit here with my wand and just do this for like, you know, 5 hours or something, however long it's going to take. And then we can make it. But I just don't feel like it's worth it. Yeah, I just don't feel like it's worth it. So we're going to go for the stage down. If there is something in the future that allows us to upgrade to the tier 8, we might do that. But I think we'll just do the tier 7. Just so we can get better power. So again, let's go back to the setup here. So the tier 7 requires 328 redstone blocks and 210 draconium. How are we doing on redstone? Plenty. Draconium? Plenty. All right. Yeah, we also don't have like a great supply of draconium coming in. We were running low on draconium, I believe, last episode. And we ended up fortuning a whole bunch of our draconium ore and smelting it. I guess we got another 5.5 thousand dust that's left to smelt, but we don't really have this stuff coming in that quickly through our chickens. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at setting this guy up. So again, we need 328 redstone blocks, 210 draconium blocks. So we have all that. 36 energy core stabilizer. So an energy core stabilizer is a particle generator and a few diamonds. That's fine. And the particle generator, some blaze rods, more redstone, draconic core. All of that's fine. I think we can set up a recipe for these things because we have to make 36 of them. And I don't want to have to make 36 items by hand. That's just not fun. Yeah, so pattern grid, we'll come in here, we'll click this thing, pattern for that, and a pattern for that, and I think we have everything we need. Oops, did I not click it? Okay. How are we doing on blaze rods? 22,000. Yeah, we got plenty. All right, so we'll come in here and we'll put this thing, sure, we'll put it in the Draconic Evolution section right here. So we needed energy core stabilizer. I think it was 36, right? 36 start. That looks like what we want. And it's just crafting up, and we'll just do one of these things and make it craft faster. Energy core stabilizers. Perfect. All right, so what were the other things on our shopping list that we needed here? 1 energy core. I guess that's pretty important, huh? Energy core itself is a couple wyvern energy cores. We've seen those. And a wyvern core. We've seen those. So I could just make a recipe for this. This guy, that. We'll add that to our Draconic Evolution section. Like so. An energy core. Not like we're ever going to make more than one of these, but it just takes away all the crafting and trying to figure out how many of what item we need. Anyway, so there's our energy core. Quest complete. Draconic energy core. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, so this section is now done. So we can go ahead and claim that, and we'll pop our chest, and we get some mana steel. Nice. All right, I'll place that away. So I need to fill up my inventory full of the rest of the blocks that we need, and then we're going to have to put this thing somewhere. Now, this multi-block is kind of big. Yeah. So we need some space for it. I think since we have Draconic Evolution started over here, even though, like, this isn't set up in a nice way, I think we're going to put our Draconic Energy Ball here, and we're going to put it in the ceiling right above us. I don't remember the size of this thing, but I do know we're going to need a large amount of space. So let's take our Draconic Staff of Power, which is currently charging up full of power since, yeah, I just upgraded the RF on it. So let's take this guy. We'll hit the button. We'll click here. We'll do AoE safe mode off. We will do dig depth. We're going to do that of 9, and we're going to do a dig AoE of 9 as well. So we're going big. and boop. Okay, so that's a big portion of our ceiling gone. That, where's the center again? Oh man, it's hard to see with all those things. Let's do, I think this is our center block. Yeah, no, maybe. I'm just gonna assume that's our center block. We'll click that one. Come back over here this way. Okay, first one like so. And we'll do it on this other side once again. Okay, so I don't know if that is enough space. We might have to remove some of these corner blocks, but that's fine. That definitely makes this super easy to open up for us to place our Draconic energy ball up there. So let me go ahead and get the rest of our blocks that we need. Actually, I guess the first thing I should do before I do anything else, before I accidentally our base, is turn this thing all the way down again. So it's just a 1x1. Okay, and then also, because of all the dinging, let's put all this in my inventory. There we go, much better. All right, so yeah, let me get the rest of the blocks together. I'll start figuring out where we need to place things, and then we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, so we were pretty close with our original 9x9x9 digging out the ceiling here. I did have to raise the ceiling up 2 more blocks, right? So we're actually 11 blocks tall now. The reason why I did that is because I wanted this thing, when we have the multi-block here, to be flush with the ceiling and not be sticking down, so we have to walk around it. I want our pathway to be nice and clear, but I do want like to be able to look up and see this thing. Anyway, so we raised the ceiling up 2 more blocks, and then the energy core stabilizers, these are just 3x3 blocks like this right here, so 3x3, and as soon as you place all of them together, they form that multi-block there. Now what's really cool about this, if you haven't seen this thing before, since it is a pretty complicated design, you can right click on this guy or you can right click on this, whichever you want. You get the same UI. You can do build guide inactive, or you can do build guide active. So when you do the build guide active, it shows you where the blocks are that you want to place. Now that can get a little confusing, like especially if you're underneath, they're all in your face and it's hard to tell where blocks are. I saw there was a new feature here that you can do layers, or at least I feel like this is new, where you can just specify certain layers. So you can fill that in and then go in here and do this and do the next layer. Yeah. Anyway, when you start putting blocks around the energy core, you can't really right click on it anymore. That's why you can do it on these over here, right? So it's kind of a nice setup the way this works. I like this a lot. But anyway, you can also tier down. So like, you can say this is for a tier 1. I'll say the core is valid, but the stabilizers are invalid because you don't need the multi-block ones. So you have to tier it up to the correct one. We're going to do a tier 7. So this is going to do the build guide for the tier 7. All right, let's tier this down. Anyway, so that's, all right, I guess show all the layers. So this is what it's going to look like. That's where all the blocks are going to place, and these bottom layers are even with the ceiling here. And when it does form the multi-block, a little bit of the glowy power ball thing might drop down, but like the blocks are even, so I think we'll be okay. So the next step is with this is that we need to start placing all the blocks, obviously. So we need redstone. Let's grab a bunch of that. Not that, redstone. And then we're gonna need draconium. There's like 300 blocks or so, or 200. Anyway, I think that should be okay. So the first layer, we just do this. Not a big deal. Okay, very easy. So we'll go up 1 more layer, and then we need to place the blocks in all of the spots that it shows. Now, if you place the wrong block, I do believe it'll let you know. Yeah, just like that. You see an animation be like, wrong block. So it's kind of foolproof, I think. I like this a lot. I wish more mods that had multi-block structures would do something similar, let the player know where the blocks need to be placed instead of making like a guessing game. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and finish placing all of these blocks, getting all of these things going here, and then we'll see if we did this right and if we can turn on our multi-block power storage. All right, guys, just finishing up on this last corner over here, trying to make the room look a little bit better. I was thinking if we were going to fill it in just so we had blocks all the way around the power ball so it'd work fine, or what we should do, but I kind of feel like the more open of this room is going to just give it a better feeling overall. So yeah, we're just placing a few more blocks here, trying to make these kind of like an octagon shape room. So there we go. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good, right? It's not so bad. Anyway, so that's what our walls look like now. I have not tried turning this thing on. I'm going to assume it's just going to work since the multi-block thing says that it should work. Put all these extra things away. All right, so let's right click on one of these and we will say build guide inactive. We'll activate it. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so that is what our power ball is looking like now. So again, this is just a tier 7, but just a tier 7 can hold 2.14 trillion RF. Yeah, that's a lot of RF. I think we're going to be doing just fine here. So in order for this thing to accept power, we're going to have to make ourselves a pylon. And it is this thing, the energy pylon from Draconic evolution. So we need 2 of these. We need one to insert power and we need one to extract power. There's no manual connecting to these things to store power. You have to do it through these things and you get 2 of them per one craft. So let's go ahead and craft that up. What are we missing? We're missing an Eye of Ender, easy, and we're missing a Draconic core, easy. All right, so there we go, energy pylons. Now these things also require glass as part of their multi-block structure. And I think we're just gonna set them, the entity thing there was kind of like bouncing me around. I think we're gonna set them over here. Now, I can't remember. I think you have to place the glass on the bottom side if it's above and on the top side if it's below. It's kind of a weird thing. I guess we'll just do it up here right on the ceiling. So we'll place that there and then we'll place glass here. Yeah, you can see the particles kind of tell you that it knows what it's doing. And then the opposite side back over here, we'll do the same thing. Okay, so you right click on these, I think. Or you right click on the orb to change it. So that is sending, this is receiving. So we'll do receiving on this side, we'll do sending on this side. Yeah, okay. So the only thing we need to do now is start moving our flux plugs, flux points, things like that over here. So let's do flux plug. Start. Okay. So the flux plug. So this is the one that's receiving. We'll place this guy here and we will set this to be solar array and we'll set this to be no limit. Okay, I think that's all we have to do, yeah? Well, actually, no, it's not supposed to be a flux plug. Flux plug is for sending power. It's supposed to be a flux point, right? Flux point is for receiving power. So we'll set this to solar array. There's nothing currently sending on the solar array. This was a channel that we're using for our environmental tech solar panel, which we disassembled a while ago and we haven't done anything with. If we switch this over, let's see, do we have any power in this thing yet? Yeah, no power. If we switch this thing over to this one, we should start getting power, I would imagine. Although, again, I'm not really seeing power go in, so I'm not entirely sure why not. This should be receiving power on Hypnotizd network. Okay, again, let's try putting the cryo stabilize there. There might be some weird interaction. If that doesn't work, again, I'm not entirely sure why, but this should be working. Flux point. There. It's going in, but I'm not seeing anything go into here. Right. Okay, blue is insert, orange is output. Right. Okay. So now we are sending all the power that we're making in the mining dimension here, which is probably going to starve out all of our other machines. So what we really need to do is have all the solar power that's in the mining dimension just going to this one flux point, right? And then we need to change the flux plug that's in the mining dimension to be here to output to all of our machines. So really, we're just changing where the power is coming from. So it's going into here. And we're changing where the power is being sent from to there. So everything else, we don't have to change any of the other flux points around the base. That's the idea here. So anyway, let's go ahead and turn this thing back to solar array network. So it should stop doing sending any power here. So we got a little bit of power, 2.41 million. We got a little bit of power stored into this thing. I'm trying to think. We're going to want our solar panels in the mining dimension to send as much power as they possibly can. So we might want to do cryo-stabilized flux ducts, possibly. I think that might be a good idea. So if we do cryo-stabilized flux ducts, let's take a look at this. These things have unlimited RF transfer, infinite RF per tick. And if we click on those, you can see it does require gelid cryothium. Okay, and these don't have EMC, neither of these, but all the parts to make it, except for the resonant flux duct, has EMC. This guy, if we go over here, the flux duct itself, the empty variant of it, does have EMC. So we need to take this, fill it up full of redstone, and then once we have that, we can do this to make the empty variant, which we have to fill up full of the cryothium. Okay, so before we get started on that, do we have Bliss? Do we have cryothium? Nope. So what does it take to make, well, cryothium? Does cryothium have EMC? It doesn't. Bliss Powder does not either. Bliss Powder comes from Bliss Rods, which also does not have EMC. And Bliss Rods we can get from chickens. And that comes from the Bliss Rod chicken, which is a Blitz Rod chicken, plus a Snowball chicken. But I thought I made all these chickens previously. Maybe I did not. So we need a Snowball chicken, which is this guy. And then we need a Blitz. You're in the way, sheep. We need a Blitz Rod chicken. Yeah, I thought I made some of those. I'm just looking at the tool tips right now. Draconium, dark steel, cactus lime, flint, redstone, black ink. Maybe I didn't make them, or maybe they're over here. Okay, Blizzrod chicken. I did make these things. I thought I did that, but I guess that was before I added more roosts and stuff. What chicken went right here? Oh boy, I'm missing one. Did I leave it in this thing? I don't know. It might have been the sulfur chicken or saltpeter. Probably missing 2 chickens. Anyway, so we do have that chicken. Let's go ahead and put our Blizzrod chicken, I guess, down here. We'll do that. Does that go fast? That's kind of slow. We don't need like a crazy amount of these Blitz rods, because we can pulverize them and then get the Blitz powder or the Bliss powder from them. Yeah, at like, is it 2 or 3 or 5 per Blizz rod if you pulverize? I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, we'll go ahead and do this. We should be able to do everything else that we need to do here. Okay, so let's go back. So we needed this stuff, Blizz powder, snowball, redstone. We have all of that stuff. That's not a big deal. And Blizz powder, pulverizer, you get 4 of them per Blizz rod. So yeah, we don't need a crazy amount of those things. All right, so the rest of the stuff is EMCable. I'm going to go ahead and start down the path of making the resonant flux duct, which are EMCable, the empty versions of these. And in order to make these, we need the previous tier. So we need signalum, redstone. Can we do this? So there's the redstone one. Those are EMCable, but we only need to make 1 more. So we do that, or we only need to use 1 of those, I should say. So there's that, and then we'll make 1 of these. What are we missing on that? We are missing Enderium nuggets. Really? We never made Enderium chickens? Oh boy. What is the Enderium chicken? That's a platinum plus ender pearl. I think we have those. Oh man, I thought we were gonna do this. Well, we can do that real quick. Is that platinum? All right, well, I'll find out where a platinum chicken is. I know we have the ender pearl chicken. Let me continue on here, get these things going, and we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, so we now have ourselves a 10-10-10 Enderium chicken. I also had to make myself a 10-10-10 platinum chicken. Yeah, we didn't have that one either. So we now have 2 new chickens that are producing stuff. This only does nuggets of the Enderium, but we don't need too much of the Enderium. We now have 30 nuggets. Yeah, the only thing we needed at the moment was to get ourselves the flux duct. So we were looking at making the resonant one, and we should be able to make 1 of those now. Or did we not make the signalum one? There's signalum and this one. Okay, so now we have ourselves a Resonant Flux Duct, and this does have EMC like we saw before. So we should be able to take that over to this section over here. And let's grab Emerald. Probably don't need this many, but since we have all the emeralds, it's fine. It's fine. And now we have all of those. Yeah, it's probably too many. Let's turn that off. All right, so now that we have all of this stuff, we just need to go and get these things filled up. In fact, I probably should put some of those back over here so we can convert those into other things. Like, how many of these do we actually need? I'm not entirely sure. I think that should be... let's grab... That's fine. If we need more, we can always just go ahead and EMC for more of them. So now that we have all of these, we need to fill them up full of redstone. Now, I saw in our system here, we have plenty of redstone, but we also have this destabilized redstone ore. This stuff, if we take a look at the uses, if I get off that screen, we can put that in the Magma Crucible. One of those turns into 1,000 millibuckets, so it's like a block plus 1 redstone dust, essentially. So these are reinforced. Okay, so we should probably upgrade these. Let's do thermal, and we'll do kit. So we can upgrade to the Signalum version. All right, so that's probably one of the reasons why I decided to make the Blizz chickens earlier. Hold on a second. How many of these do we have? Plenty. All right, let's just be wasteful. I was thinking we should probably put those in the pulverizer and get more out of them, but yeah, we got plenty, and we're always going to get more, so it's not a big deal. Then we'll do this. We'll make some cryothium out of that. All right, perfect. And I guess we're going to need at least 2 of those gears. And then we should be okay. So there is the Signalum upgrades. Okay, very good. And then we'll probably want to do the Resonant upgrade, but that requires Enderium ingots. We're up to 5. We can do 1 upgrade. So if we're going to do that, we should do that for the Magma Crucible. Let's just do 1 upgrade. Do we have Pyrotheum? I don't think we do. Okay, so Pyrotheum comes from Blaze Powder, Sulfur, and Redstone. Let's just make enough for 1 here. Oh, and then we also need the Lumium gear. We don't have Lumium either. Oh boy. Lumium comes from, I assume, a Lumium chicken. Yeah, so that's tin and glowstone. All right, well, that's another one we're going to have to look at making in the future. For now, we'll just stick with what we got here. So we need to get ourselves another augment. Well, I guess 2 more for both of these machines. So we'll make 2 of these things. We will make 2 of these. We'll just right-click those on the machines. So that should speed them up just ever so slightly. So this guy, are we accepting? We are. So that goes there. This goes here. And that goes quite quickly, actually. Oh, we're going to have way too much redstone, I think. That's fine. We have a lot of these resonant flux ducts to fill up. This is going a lot faster than I was expecting it to go initially. Yeah, this is really, really good. I didn't expect this to go that quickly. I feel like that's faster than it would do with a redstone block, although I believe the machines can be configured in the configuration settings for their speed, because I've seen these machines go really fast in like Project Ozone 2, for instance. So maybe that's just the way these things are supposed to be set up, but this is really good. This is going a lot faster than I was initially thinking it would go. So we should probably calm this down, because we do need to melt down cryothium to make the cryo-stabilized flux ducts. So yeah, let's just go ahead and finish up the redstone that we have in here, finish filling these up as much as we can, and then start melting down gelid cryothium. Well, actually, I guess before we do that, we need to look at the cryo stabilized. So we need the empty variants of that. So that requires all of this stuff. Hardened glass. How much do we have? We don't have a lot. This is EMCable. How are we doing on Electrum? We have plenty of Electrum. Let's go convert a lot of those empty resonant flux ducts into this hardened glass, because we need a whole lot of this stuff. That is a whole lot of it. Okay, can we just do that? Perfect. And we take all this stuff and just throw that into the system like so, and we never have to worry about that for at least a long, long while. Okay, so now that we have that, we can throw all of these things in here and be like, make me all of these guys. At least 2 stacks of them. Okay, so now we have 2 stacks of these guys. We just need to get ourselves some of the cryothium. And I believe it's 2 cryothium per, so 500. And you get 1 cryothium turns into 250. Yeah, so we need a total of 4 stacks of cryothium. We don't have quite 3 stacks yet. All right, so let's make some more cryothium. Actually, let's just search for cryothium. This stuff, this. Okay, so we need to do 2 more of those, I believe. And that should get us 2 more stacks. Perfect. All right, so that's all the stuff that we need for the cryo-stabilized flux ducts that we have on ourselves at the moment. How's this doing? We got more redstone to get rid of. Just a little bit more. Awesome. Okay, so that's all of that taken care of. So now we can start putting this cryothium in there, and that's a little bit slower, unfortunately. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, well, we'll let that finish melting down. We'll make some more of these guys. We're gonna need quite a lot of these because I'd like to put each solar panel on a cryo-stabilized flux duct. Yeah, just so we can transfer power as fast as possible and then have it set up so when we upgrade our solar panels eventually, if we need to, that all we gotta do is just replace the solars and not worry about the power transfer. Anyway, this is gonna take a minute. Let's wait for this to finish up and we will be right back. All right, guys, so back in the mining dimension, pretty much all we should have to do at this point is remove our vibrant capacitor banks, replace that with our cryo-stabilized flux ducts, and things should just work at this point. This needs to be changed, however, from Hypnotizd network to the solar array because we are sending power from the solar array. Yep, so let's get rid of these. Looks like the solar panels just stay there, which is good. I don't know what we're gonna do with all these capacitor banks. We'll figure that out later. And then we can just place these guys. Guess we gotta shift click them. Yeah, they connect to all of these solar panels. And that should connect to here. So now we're sending 8.4 million FE per tick back to the base. So let's go back to the base now. All right, we can turn off our F9 screen. Yeah, power is out here. That's gonna be the issue. But all that power that we're getting is now being sent here, which I'm not entirely sure we need this thing. Let's put this directly on here. Maybe if we can ever break it. So that goes right here. Okay, there we go. So this thing is sending 8.4 million FE per tick. I guess all those things finished draining their internal power. So now we're generating 1.1 million FE per tick off the solars. So yeah, we're gaining that right now. This is filling up. We have barely 0.25% full right now, and that's still gonna fill up over time. So now the only other thing we gotta do is put a flux plug here, and we're gonna set this thing to be Hypnotizd network. Okay, so that should send power from everywhere else. Let's see. Yeah, that's blue. This one's orange. So that should be sending power to everywhere else that it needs power, I think. Yeah, there we go. Input 18.9. So our refined storage system should be back on. If we can find where it is. So yeah, it looks like power is restored. So now again, the solar is going directly into our power ball, and then we are taking all the buffered power from our power ball and sending it on this one channel. So what that should allow us to do is now when we want to craft something here, this should go a lot faster. So I'm kind of curious to see how much faster it's going to go. So we have the one for the bow right there. Let's try using this. Oh yeah, look at that. That just like instantly filled that thing up full of power too. So that's really good. So you place this here, that charges up nearly instantly. That's awesome. Okay, so this is gonna make our life so much better. So we put all this armor in our inventory. This should all charge up quite quickly. Looks like it's charging multiple pieces at once, and it's getting millions per tick, which is great. So now we have armor once again. I kind of want to keep those away so we weren't wasting all of our power trying to charge it up. All right, that's pretty good. I like this so far. So we did the one on the bow. We can get rid of this one and place that back here. We'll do the next one for the bow for the next, whichever one that one is. We still need draw speed and RF capacity. Or no, we still need arrow damage and arrow speed. So place this one in there. Oh man, that's so good. Okay, so this makes me happy. Trying to get this thing to go previously with how slow it was very, very boring and disappointing and just kind of like, just go already. Now it just goes already, and that makes me happy. All right, so I will finish doing the rest of our stuff. I think we might be pretty close. Just our Draconic Staff of Power needs a few more upgrades, but that should get us to about the maximum that we need to be, aside from the Chaotic tier. I'm not sure if we're going to do that or not, but yeah, we definitely got some huge upgrades here. Very much like this. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.